Sometimes a gun in Call of Duty just feels thick. Yeah, it feels thick. What's up, guys? Chaos here. Today we're going to be looking at 15 of the heaviest hitting guns ever put in Call of Duty. You could say the thickest guns if you want to for this list. We'll be looking at guns that felt and sounded super heavy, if that makes sense. And each shot would deal some really, really heavy damage. The guns that made you feel like a boss. So let me know which was your favorite heavy hitting gun of all time. Drop a like, and the thickness begins with the Scar H in Black Ops 2. Now, it's appeared a number of times throughout COD, but the Black Ops 2 version is usually cited as the best. The rifle was arguably one of the best guns in the game, but nobody ever talks about it, which it's kind of odd, but whatever. It would always kill in 3 to 4 bullets. It would even get a 2-shot kill if you landed 2 headshots. The fire rate was relatively low at 625 rounds per minute, but the iron sights were so clean, and the firing sound was thick. You're going to hear that word a couple times. And the feedback from every shot it made felt super heavy. Now, with a lot of guns in COD, you don't really feel like you're using a powerful gun, even if you're doing a lot of damage. But in this list, you are going to see a bunch of weapons that really made you feel the power behind every shot. I think the Scar is a good way to kick things off. Next up, the AK-47 in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, it's been in countless COD games, ever since it debuted in COD 4 all the way back in 2007. Everybody has their own favorite version of the AK. Perhaps it's the classic COD 4 version. Maybe it's the unique but reliable Black Ops 1 version, which is my favorite. But if we're talking about the version that felt the heaviest and the strongest, it's this one. It may not have been the most popular pick in multiplayer, but it's definitely one of the most satisfying guns in the game. It felt ridiculously powerful. You could really feel the weight of every shot you fired. I love the 2019 AK. I can't really wait to see how it feels in Modern Warfare 2 because you know it's coming back. At number 13, the Rampart 17 in Black Ops 4. Many people saw the Rampart as a spiritual successor to the iconic Scar H, and I agree with that. It fired relatively slow, 517 rounds per minute, but it would hit for 46 base damage, meaning if you hit at least one headshot, it would become one of the only guns in Black Ops 4 that could kill in 3 bullets. Now, the Rampart 17 was very popular, and for good reason. The damage was high for a rifle in this game, and despite how relatively low the fire rate was, it didn't matter. It was competitive at close range thanks to the DPS values. It is certainly one of the most memorable weapons from Black Ops 4. At number 12, the Remington R5 in Ghost. Now look, I'll be the first one to say it. A lot of guns in Ghost felt the same. The darker color scheme, the very, very flat sound effects. A lot of guns in Ghost didn't have the same weight as they did before, but the Remington R5 was an exception. It was an assault rifle that felt absolutely massive in your hands. It dealt 50 plus damage to the head. Plus, the Remington reused the extremely underrated CM901's reload animation, which made it even cooler in action. So, a lot of guns in Ghost felt kind of weightless and bland. I get it. But the R5, it wasn't one of those. It had a ton of personality. The high damage, the beefy feedback effects. I loved it. You loved it. Let's move on. At number 11. The Barrett 50 cal in Modern Warfare Remastered. Everybody knows. It's one of the most iconic weapons in COD. I mean, it introduced all the way back in COD 4. It is one of the few guns to appear in every single Modern Warfare game, although it was slightly tweaked and turned into the Rytech in Modern Warfare 2019. Semi-auto sniper. It's known for its insane stopping power, the hefty recoil. But if I had to pick the one that felt the heaviest, I'm going to go with the Modern Warfare Remastered version. The COD 4 Barrett was beefy, but this one, it kind of fine-tuned everything to perfection. The firing sound was great, the hit feedback was perfect, the power was nothing to scoff at. I mean, it has to be one of the most satisfying COD guns of all time. At number 10, the XMLAR in Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, it may be illegal to talk about a Modern Warfare Remastered DLC weapon, but I'm going to do it. It's my video. It's one of the first weapons to be added in the remastered game, and it was largely hated by the community for a number of reasons. Aside from the fact that nobody wanted DLC weapons in the game, it was overpowered. I mean, it's essentially acting as a fully automatic FAL. Now, with that being said, it was super fun to use. It felt awesome. The firing sound was almost identical to the Modern Warfare 2 FAL, but in full auto, which made it sound super intimidating. Plus, the damage this thing was dishing out, you wouldn't get tired of it. Now, I may not agree with the XMLAR's inclusion in the game, but I can admit that it belongs on this list. The grease gun in World War II. As much as I talk crap about this game, the game did have some pretty creative immersion. The heavy guns felt heavy. You could really feel the punch of these guns. It was supposed to have whenever you pulled the trigger. Despite being the starting SMG, the grease gun was actually pretty satisfying. It was viable, even after unlocking better weapons. Slow firing, SMG, thunderous sound effect, could kill in 3 shots up close. It was a really good starting weapon. It's one of the few SMGs in COD history that I would actually call heavy. Sledgehammer is really good at the immersion factor of their games, even if the game design was a little bit controversial. At number 8, the Wrecked. That's right, the Wrecked in Infinite Warfare, the R3KT. Now, Infinite Warfare made an impact, and when it launched in 2016, it was not the impact Activision was looking for. Now, the game wasn't bad. It was just in the wrong place at the absolute worst time, and it led to being ripped apart by most of the community. However, there were some creative ideas on display here, and a lot of the IW players remember messing around with this gun. It was a variant of the R3K assault rifle, but while the base version was a 3-round burst, this one was fully automatic. Had a very low fire rate in exchange for incredibly high damage. It would kill with a single bullet in hardcore and just 2 to 3 in regular modes, and it felt that way. It was strong. Even if you hated IW, this gun was fun to use. At number 7, the Lewis in COD World War II. I've complained about this gun in the past, and I know I'm not alone. It was a starting LMG in the game, and it was one of the most used due to the fact that it was arguably overpowered. Despite being an LMG, it handled very quickly. Made it feel more like an AR, and then on top of that, it would delete people with 3 bullets from pretty much any distance on the map, and you could load it with 100 rounds. Firing sound, great. High damage. It was a satisfying gun to use. It definitely felt heavy. Everybody complained about it, and complained about people camping on shipment. I get it. May have been annoying, may have been overpowered, but it's heavy. I just said heavy with a voice crack. At number 6, the bar in Vanguard. It's been in a number of COD games. After all, it's one of the most iconic weapons from the World War II era, so naturally it's going to appear in a ton of World War II era games. Now, the bar has always been a solid weapon in COD, but the Vanguard version, it was beefy. Maybe it's because of the nice graphics, perhaps it's because of the updated game engine, but the Vanguard bar is one of the thickest feeling guns I've ever used in the World War II shooter. You may not be the biggest fan of this game, but its version of the bar felt amazing. Now we crack into the top 5. My favorite gun in this game. The HBR-A3 in Advanced Warfare. I have so many great memories with the Insanity variant. It was great. May not have been at the same level as the Balor, the ASM-1, but it was a popular gun. It was awesome. Handling, the satisfying hit feedback. It was a full auto assault rifle. It gradually got faster as you held the trigger down, and while the recoil did get heavier, it wasn't hard to control. It also packed a punch, almost always killing in 3 to 4 bullets. Plus, there was the, like I said, highly desired Insanity variant that sped up the fire rate and turned up the damage even further, made it arguably on the same level as the Bal Obsidian Steed. I love this gun. I think it's a shame it was overlooked due to the fact of some other OP weapons in Advanced Warfare, but today it gets its shine. At number 4, the LSAT in Black Ops 2. Similar to what I said about the Lewis, it was one of the most hated guns in the game, but it deserves to be on this spot. It was a camper's best friend in a day that there was a lot of campers, thanks to the fact that it was part of the default class with a target finder, which I'm still convinced is a troll by Treyarch. Once you started using the LSAT, you knew how busted it was. You played to its strengths. The fire rate was solid, and the handling wasn't really slow. The damage is what broke it. I mean, it was virtually always a 3-shot kill, and with that thick firing range cranking through your speakers with every bullet, it was hard not to have fun with it if you were using it. You were a D-bag if you actually used it seriously, but we all did it at least once. At number 3, the Titan in Black Ops 4, like the name. Sometimes I wonder if it was supposed to be the sequel to the LSAT, because if it was, Treyarch did a really good job. It's basically the LSAT, but in a different game with a slightly lower fire rate. However, all the things wrong with the LSAT were wrong with the Titan. In fact, the Titan was so controversial in Black Ops 4 that it eventually received one of the most requested nerfs in COD history. Now, despite being in a game with a long time to kill, it would drop people in 3 bullets. From anywhere, basically. It really didn't have much recoil either. Plus, just like the LSAT, the movement penalties really weren't bad, so there was a ton of people spamming it. Even after the nerfs, the Titan felt extremely beefy, and it felt satisfying to use. At number 2 today, can't have this list without the Man of War from Black Ops 3. One of my favorite guns. It's a slow-firing but extremely hard-hitting assault rifle in the game. Now, the fire rate left something to be desired, yes, but it almost always killed with 3 bullets, and it wasn't hard to control the recoil. Heck, if you were using the high caliber attachment, you could drop people with 2 bullets as long as you aimed high. Black Ops 3, I think it had a pretty fair time to kill, so anything that was killing this quickly was going to be a fan favorite. I love the gun, and even though a lot of people stopped using it after nerfs, I don't care. And at number 1 today, the heaviest hitting, the thickest, the beefiest gun in COD history has to be the Odin in Modern Warfare 2019. It's one of the slowest firing assault rifles in COD history. It's also one of the most powerful. It's basically a tactical rifle in the body of an AR. Fires super slowly, handling slow, but the power, ridiculous. 2 to 3 bullets anywhere. A lot of people slept on the Odin when it first came out due to the handling, but once people started kitting it out in the gunsmith and figuring out optimal builds, it got popular. Plus, the power and the feedback of every shot is so satisfying. I think it's the heaviest feeling gun in COD history. You may disagree with me, but you still have Modern Warfare or Warzone installed. Go whip out the Odin, see what I'm talking about. Even if you hate slow-firing guns, it feels ridiculously heavy. There you have it, my friends. Let me know one gun that deserved to be on the list that didn't make it, and I'll see you soon.